Good evening, everybody. I'm Bill Warner with EntreDot, and welcome to Monday Night Live with EntreDot here at 7 p.m. Okay, I've got I think, a really important subject to cover with you tonight, and that's all about the essentials of marketing messaging. Fancy words, fancy marketing jargon for meaning what the heck do you say to potential customers about your products and services. I've said this in many different ways over the last year or two, so I thought I'd try to summarize it into one 15, 20-minute discussion with you. This is incredibly important for your business. Without effective marketing messages, the things you say to a whole bunch of different constituencies, the most important being your potential customer, if you don't do this well, you're not going to be successful. I said that last week in a few posts. People were shocked when I said that bluntly, but I'm serious. So look, when it really comes down to it, what you're trying to do, very first and foremost in your marketing discussions with people, is to first let them know the need you will fulfill for your potential customers. The need. Remember that word. You're fulfilling a need. What the blazes is it? If you get this across, you'll have people starting to pay attention to what it is you want to say next. But a need could be one of three things. It could be a problem that you solve for customers. It could be a service or a product. It doesn't matter. It's solving a problem. Well, what the heck is it? It could be a brand new opportunity that nobody else sees. It's a need out there that you see. Maybe others don't quite yet, but you're going to bring this novelty to the market to some benefit to a bunch of people that you think are going to need it. So you're going to talk about the need you think you're going to fulfill for others that they don't know they have yet. Kind of crazy, huh? But who'd believe that we could reinvent the darn telephone with an Apple phone? Did we need that? Well, I do now. The third is a social cause, the world of the nonprofits. A social purpose that you've told the IRS that you're going to fulfill with your solution and to get your 501c3 approved. Those are the three things that, in my book, mean there's a need that you're fulfilling. And once you get that across, then what do? You tell them immediately that you have a compelling solution that fulfills this need, and it's fulfilled. And it accounts for all the needs that you talk about in your first few sentences. So need is here, fulfillment is here, and they match. You talk about every single need has a matching fulfillment, a function, a service, a product, and you cover it completely. I'm going to explain what completely means in a minute. It does not mean 55 different things that you're fulfilling the need for. It's going to be very few. I'm going to cover that in a little bit more detail. So you've got that together. You know the needs that you're going to fulfill and how you're going to fulfill them. So there are many different venues or places where this messaging is going to occur. First one that came to my mind was the elevator pitch, the famous elevator pitch, which always starts with the problem you're solving or the need you're fulfilling and how you're going to do it. You get people now on the edge of their chair wanting to learn more, or stopping the elevator and wanting to hear more because they're just riveted to what it is you're about to do. Your sales pitch will cover aspects of this. Your lead qualification discussions, where you're communicating with a potential customer and you're going to explain, if you have these needs, I can fulfill them. Public speaking events where you introduce your company. Networking events where you're meeting brand new people. The first two things you're going to tell them when they ask you, well, what the heck do? You're going to say, the problem I solve and the solution for it is, and then go from there. and then many others, no matter where you go. But you're going to talk about this consistently. So this need and your fulfillment of it is said pretty much the same way, with a few deviations from that I'll cover towards the end here, but pretty much consistently, no matter who you talk to. So you get to verbalize this mantra almost the same way to almost everybody. The other place it's seen is on your homepage of your website. The very top of the page, before you scroll down, is your marketing messages. Bam, right there in front of the reader or the visitor to your website, and they know immediately they have this problem that you're talking about. I want to know more. If they don't see that, they're going to leave and you'll never see them again. More later on that one. Okay, so I got that across. So how do you say this? You know, I'm making a big deal about these few messages, but how do you express them? Well, it's going to sound a little bit simple. You're going to express them concisely. Few words. Keep it simple. Keep it pithy. Keep it compelling. Capture quickly in a matter of seconds. No baloney. Less than 5 or 6 seconds. Remember on that home page, if they read your messages, the 2 or 3 that hit them first, captures them. That's about 5 or 6 seconds. They've kind of scanned it and say, oh, this is interesting. Let me see more. If they don't, they're gone. You've lost it. They leave your page and never be seen again. That's pretty serious. That's how important this is. That's why I'm hammering you so hard on this. People don't read anymore. They hate wordy stuff. So this is not the opportunity for you to wax on with paragraphs of information off your homepage of your website or any other material that you produce. Think of bulleted items, short phrases, lots of white space so they can focus quickly to what it is you want to see, want them to see. Keep it simple. Keep it impactful. Each message is 3, 4, up to 7 or 8 words. Fits on one line in pretty bold print. Bam, bam, bam. 3 or 4 of these things hit you right in the face. I understand what they're doing. I have this problem. You want them to react that way. I have this need. Let me see what they're going to do to fulfill that need. So that's the first thing. So you show this problem that you solve, or opportunity that you fulfill, or the cause that you're addressing yourselves to, and you're going to say this in a way that covers only what matters. Well, what does that mean? You've heard the term pain points, probably. What are the customer pain points that you fulfill? It's another way of saying almost the same thing I just did. What is the need they have that you're going to fulfill? They're in pain. Something's wrong. They want to get it fixed. What are the major things that matter to them with respect to this pain that they're experiencing, this need that they have? You got to boil all this down to the handful of the most important ones. What matters? What's crucial to them? It could be dollars and cents. It could be productivity. It could be lost business. It could be a lot of different things. It's got to be a big deal. Anything else we don't talk about just yet. What are the things that they'll pay for or are likely to pay for? If they're crucial and you bring great value, then they're likely to pay for it, particularly if your price is way less than what they're going to save. So I know you're sitting there thinking, how the heck can I do this? I mean, I can't do this in less than 20 major messages. Well, baloney, you can. I'm not at all suggesting that you're not going to talk about all 20 of these things. Just not right now. When they're on the home page or you're in the elevator, giving them the elevator pitch, you're going to talk about the most essential 4 to 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that needs that you're going to fulfill and how you're going to do it. That's it. Everything else, the other 15 things that you want to talk about, which is great functions and features and services that you're going to be offering to them, you've got another page in your website or your documentation for the services of your business that you can talk about later. So this is like fishing, trolling. You got these 6 or 7 lines in the water cast out there as your messaging. They're really juicy looking tidbits for the big fish to bite. And you want them to bite on at least one of them. Then you reel them in. Once you got them on or near the boat, you now can talk to them about all of the other things you could do for them. The other 15 to 20 capabilities that you'll have on your services page. Simple. So out of all that stuff you can do, what are the few that are going to be the most important and get their attention? Then you explain your solution, directly addressing each of these needs, point by point. And what you can do now, and don't ever talk about what you're going to do in the future. That is not interesting right now. Later on, when they ask you, well, what's coming next, you can answer that kind of a question. But right now, you're talking about nowness. You're talking about their need now and what you can do now. You can ship it to them tomorrow. Put it in your cart, pay for it, and they'll ship it to you in 24 hours with Amazon Prime or something. Oh, so it's also okay to combine a sense of your solution with the need it fulfills all in one message. Sometimes that's a pretty cool way to do it. So think about how to portray it. I guess is what I'm trying to get across here. But then you've got to also get across the value you bring quantitatively, dollars and cents, time saved, productivity improved, reduced expense, increased cash flow, whatever, that it represents the quantitative value of this solution you're providing has got to be expressed somehow in your wording of the solution I have for your now is, and its value is as well. So you cover both. The value is a natural part of describing the solution. Okay, I've hammered that for now 13 minutes. How do you create these messages? Okay, I got all these things to choose from. How the heck do I figure this out? Well, this is a pretty cathartic little exercise, but this is the way people do it. Gather with you. Don't try and do it yourself. Gather with around you the team of people that have most to do with marketing, product management, sales, who know what your company's all about. They've been with you a while, maybe helped you create it. And you work with them kind of in a group, if you will, but a structured one. You start with a memory dump up there on the whiteboard or notes you're taking, however you want to do it. Do a memory dump of all of the benefits, all of the problems that you solve and all of the features and services of your solution. One by one, write them down. It's a free-flowing kind of description coming out of their heads as they occur to them. You're going to organize it later. You'll start to see patterns emerge, group them into categories, capture it all, get it all out there. Let the team lead the way. And when we're all tired out and we think we got it all, and everybody's said their piece, and you've written it all down, now you've captured, probably in this mess that you've got on the whiteboard, is some of the key messages you want to portray. So now it's time to refine it. First thing you do is cull through those things that just are not essential for convincing somebody that you got a compelling solution for a problem that's probably minor. So just put it aside. You're not going to forget it. We're going to use it later. Pick only the big hitters, the ones that really matter, like I said before. Focus on the most important. And take this mess of 50, 60 features and benefits and things like that and boil it down to a dozen or less. Less is better. But purposely select those that matter the most to your potential customer. We don't care what you think. The point is, what do they think? What's important to them? If these people in a room haven't talked to a whole lot of customers that they think that we're going to sell to, then they ought to be in the room. People that are doing this should have intimate knowledge of the targets we're trying to sell to and the problems that they're facing. There's been discussions going on, particularly in the market research. So you got it now down to a dozen or so. The next thing is, you got sentences this long, go on forever. Reduce the wordiness, take out unnecessary words, eliminate jargon, no acronyms, simple English, 8th grade level English, no baloney. I'm serious. No fancy 18 letter words, simple, straightforward. So you're condensing this. Reducing the wording, condensing the messaging, really trying to get literally every single message down to a few words, a handful of words like that, 5 or 6, 7 maybe. That's it. It's got to fit on one line on your homepage. Now, you're down to now maybe 4 to 6 words, 7-word messages. You got the most compelling to your buyer. The analogy I'd give you is, last night I spent some time on 60 Minutes, and one of the segments was on gold mining in Africa, where you ride down literally 2 miles to the bottom of this mine with your drills, shovels, and a conveyor belt where you drill, throw rocks into the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt takes all these rocks, miles and miles of rocks flowing by into this factory, smelter or something, whatever the hell you call it. Throw these rocks into a big pot, heat it up. You pulverize the rocks into powder, put them in these big vats, heat it up to 1,000 degrees or something. And after a while, they tilt this thing over and gold comes out. About enough for 5, 6, 7 bricks of gold, about this big. They're each worth 10 million or so. They're heavy as heck. So you're doing the same thing. You're taking all those rocks of messages and boiling it, pulverizing it, boiling it, and pouring out the most essential gold in your messaging. Hope that helps. Think of it that way. I've said it many different ways. I'm going to stop saying it now. So the next thing is you create these messages. I said way early on, you might wind up saying these things in different ways. And here's what I mean by that. You've got to make your messaging relevant to the audience you're addressing. So if you're in a market where you've got a broad array of personas, kinds of people, by race, ethnicity, age, and income, industries they're in, and a lot of other parameters, you've got to, in your boiling down of these messages, you may find yourself having to say some of these in 2 or 3 different ways to address the needs of these different kinds of people. They all have to be bona fide buyers, real potential customers, but they have different ways of thinking about things and saying saying things themselves, relating to other people. The impact of some of the problems or issues that they face may hit them differently based upon their background, their personas. So you got to be cognizant of that. Another is the tendencies of the individuals themselves. I'm a baby boomer, as you can tell by all this gray and missing hair here. So I'm kind of traditional. I'm old school. Went to college years ago. I grew up in the 50s and 60s where we were taught certain principles about how to live. I'm kind of an economic focused kind of guy. I think about making money. I'm pretty practical, cut and dry. Some would say boring. You don't have to agree with that though, but I'm a baby boomer, as are, I think we're still 45, 50% of the population. But coming along, soon to overtake us old guys and gals, are the millennials and the generation next, Z or whatever it is, who are quite different than us old boomers. They have a heart. They want people to relate to them. They want to relate to others. They really value authenticity. People who are real, are honest, forthright. You have to connect with them. It's soft stuff. Us baby boomers hit you with a ball bat. Millennials, you don't hit them at all. You relate to them. You create an experience for them. You show how what you have could make a difference in their lives and their purpose. Very different way of talking. Your messaging would be quite different. The tone of your messages should always be positive, no matter who we're talking to here. Be positive, not negative. Negative takes people into limited perspective, and you may lose them. Be positive. No threats, no doom and gloom. Negative stuff will just alienate them eventually. I probably agree, but now I'm down. Be positive. Hit their emotions, their positive emotions, which are far numerous than the negative ones. But it will produce positive action as a result. So be positive. So the result of all this and what follows is all the details that you took out of your messaging, you can still talk about, and you will on other pages of your document. Not to worry. So proceed to prepare your website messaging at your home page and your services page. All of your digital media and posts should reflect your messaging. Your case studies should, your presentations and for sales and investors and business meetings and networking events. The collateral you have should all be written consistently with this messaging. You may have, again, different versions. Your website's going to be the same, but different versions of these other materials. So when you've done all this, it's a major exercise. It's going to be very valuable and serve you well. But keep learning. Keep learning by the reaction your potential customers have to your messaging, and keep refining your messages. And if there are other messages that you should have talked about and didn't, do it. If you have messages that just aren't resonating or don't matter, take them out and replace them with the ones that do. I hope that's helpful. And I hope you have a great evening. I'm glad to be able to talk to you about a very important subject of keeping your marketing messages well focused. Have a great evening. And again, I'm Bill Warner with EntreDot. See you later. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.